So hello guys, welcome again. Today we are talking about the WLAN service configuration. Here is a n+1 backup. What does that mean? Means that we have more than one AC as a backup. So here we have three AC. So this is AC1 which acts as the active AC, AC2, AC2 and AC3. So the role of the AC is determined by the priority value. So the smaller value indicates a higher priority. And uh, so in case the priority values are the same, the AC that connect to many APs will act as the active AC. What if the AC connect to the same APs? Now we'll check on the station. The stations, the ACs that have many stations will act as the active AC. So in a situation where all the APs and STS are the same, we'll check on the IP addresses. So the AC with the smallest IP address will act as the active AC. So as you can see, we've set the configuration. We've set the topology. We have got three ACs. So if you come here, the type of ACs that we've used the AC AC 6005. That one you can see there, and there are three of them, and the APs that we've used is AP 4050. STS, you can choose the one you like, STS, or you can go with the cell phones. So this is our topo, and this is the work we are going to do. So let's remove these ones, we don't need them. Also, let's remove this because you've already set our topology. So the VLANs, I have configured VLANs already. Here what I wanted to demonstrate is how can you configure the VLAN, how can you deploy Wi-Fi using the Huawei devices. So to check, first of all you have to check if the ACs are able to communicate. Check for connectivity. On while you are on AC1, let me enlarge so that you can see. So here we are on AC1, which is this one here. We want to see if we can reach our standby AC3 or AC2. So AC2 IP address is 10.23.100.3. So come here, we ping to check for connectivity, ping 10.23.100.3.2. Yeah. You see, there it's returning packets. We transmitted 5 packets, and we've received 5 packets with a 0 packet loss. That's a positive result. That one we were testing the link. This link, is there connectivity on that path? Now we check on the connectivity along this link. So we will check on .3. So we come here, we ping 10.100.23.100.3. You see, there's connectivity. We are able to communicate with AC3. Now our switch 1 act as the DHCP server. It's the one that will assign IP addresses to the APs and the STS. So come display current configuration, that is display CU, to check if the DHCP is set. So you can see the DHCP is enabled. Okay. We check the IP addresses has been selected. We've used the select interface. Yeah. So the DHCP is set. Our management VLAN is VLAN 100. So that's the VLAN for the APs. Then the service VLAN is VLAN 101. That is for the STS. So we'll begin straight away. We've talked much of the theory. Let's now put it into practical. So here we start with the WLAN configuration. So we go to system view, WLAN. First of all, we create an AP group. An AP group is where after we've configured all, we'll bound them to an AP group. Then we put it to the radius, and then the APs goes online. So we start with the AP group name. We'll name it AP group 1. After that, then we create the regulatory domain. The regulatory domain is the one that will give us the IRP power and the antenna gains, antenna ratings. So we create a regulatory domain, name domain 1. Then country code. Now the antenna ratings and power will depend on the country which you are. So let's see. The default is China. We will use the default one. So let's see the countries that we have. So these are the countries that we have. We have got Australia, Belgium. So maybe Egypt, France, and so on and so on and so on and so on. There are so many. So the power will depend on the region you are in. So here, our country code will set to the default one, which is China, with the abbreviation of CN. After that, we go back to the AP group. We bind that regulatory domain into the AP group. Say the AP group name, AP group 1. Then we bind the regulatory domain. Regulatory domain, the name was domain 1. Say yes. Great. Now we're gonna bring the APIs online. So to bring the APIs online, we'll check on the MAC addresses. We stop them. After we stopped, we'll have to copy the MAC addresses. So there are two methods of authentication. The first one is MAC authentication. So you can either choose to use MAC authentication or serial number authentication. Both will work. So for us, we'll use the default one, which is MAC authentication. So we copy. Come and paste here. Say, so the MAC address should be in sorry. Yeah. Next should be next decimal in a groups of 4. So that one is for AP1. Then you come to AP2. You also copy the MAC address. See. So, and to bring our APIs online. Make sure they are in a groups of 4. Groups of 4. See that? Now after that, we start our APIs back. Wait a moment. It is taking some time. Let's give it time. All right, it's working. Now we come back to our AC. As for some of you who don't know, AC is just an access controller. Then AP is access point. So we go to AP authentication. AP authentication. So authentication mode is either MAC authentication or SN authentication. That is serial number authentication. SN authentication. But for us, we are using MAC authentication. So we say MAC authentication, enter, then AP MAC, then come and copy the MAC address of the first AP, which is this one here. Copy the MAC address, come and paste. Then you give it the AP name. What the AP name will help to identify the AP. So and the location where the AP is. So AP name. So you say area 1. Then after that, we bind it to the AP group. It's the AP group that we'll have to bind to the RAID. So we bind everything to the AP group. So AP group, the name we gave to AP group was AP group 1. Say yes for configuration to take effect. So that one was for AP1. Now we have to check as the configuration taken effect. So we say display AP all to see if our AP is online. Our AP is in an idle state. Why? The reason why AP is in an idle state is because the SC is not able to communicate with the AP. So what do we do in such situation? The reason is we've not configured the CAPWAP tunnel. So the CAPWAP tunnel is the tunnel through which the AP and the AC are able to communicate. So we quickly go back to the global view. We configure the CAPWAP interface. So CAPWAP source, which we gave WLAN, CAPWAP source interface VLAN if 100. So the configuration should be able to take effect. Then we go back to the WLAN view. Then you reset AP reset all. Say yes. Then we configure, we check now if the AP has come to the normal state. So display AP all. Our AP is still in the idle state. Let's give it time. It will pick because we know our DHCP is up, so should be able to get an IP address. Let's just give it time. So I think our APs are not. Let's check again. So we have to reset it again. AP reset all. So done. Okay, this time we have a successful count. So let's display if the APs have come online. So display AP all. Fault. Okay, let's give it time. It is the AP is still resetting. So once you see a fault, it's a positive feedback. But when you see idle, it means that the AP and the AC are not able to communicate. So let's just give it time. We should have here normal state, not false state. Let's check again. still false. Let's give it time. While you give it time, let's configure the WLAN services. So the WLAN services include the VAP, the SSID profile, and the security profile. So we'll start with the security profile. Name, you give it WLAN net. Then under security profile, we'll use WPA2. Then PSK, passphrase, that is the ciphertext. Then we put the password. Then make sure you put the encryption, the American encryption standard. Yes, enter. Let's enlarge the screen. All right. So after that, we quit and create the SSID. The SSID is the name that will appear every moment you go to the Wi-Fi. That name that appears, that's what we call the SSID. So we say SSID profile. We first create the profile name. Say WLAN 1, WLAN net. Then now create the SSID name now. So the name depends. You can choose the name you like. So mine will be SmartNet 254. That's the name that will appear. Enter. After that, we create the VAP where we'll bind the SSID and the security profile. Now quit. Create the VAP profile name. Make sure the names are the same with the SSID and the security profile. So WLAN net. Then after that, we have got two parameters that we'll have to configure in the VAP view. So the first one is the service, the forwarding mode. So the forwarding mode is either direct or tunnel forwarding, and also service VLAN, the VLAN service VLAN that will be used for the STS, and we bind the security and the SSID profile. Excuse. So we start with the forwarding mode. We use direct forwarding. Then the service VLAN ID 101. That is the service VLAN. As you can see here, our service VLAN is VLAN 101. Then we bind the security profile and the SSID profile. Security profile name was WLAN net. Then the SSID profile. SSID profile name was also WLAN. Make sure the names are the same. All right, our configuration has been binded on the VAP. So now let's go back and see if the configuration has taken effect. The engineer has come to the normal state. Now we say display AP all. Good. You can see it has even obtained an IP address. The AP name is also here. Nor here means normal state, as you can see from here. It's an abbreviation of normal state. So meaning that our tunnel was established successfully, and it has been in an up state for 2 minutes. Still, we've not our STS have not been connected yet. So we continue with our service configuration. Now, because we've created the VAP profile, now we go back to bind the VAP profile into the AP group. We quit and create. Go to the AP group view. The AP group, we had created it already. So AP group name was AP group 1. AP group 1. So then we bind the verb profile. Name was WLAN. Then we add them to we add the radios, WLAN, radio 1, bind the radio. So radio 0 should be able to see the first cycle. The circle marks the boundary, that is the BSSID, the boundary from which you can, while you are connected to the Wi-Fi, can roam. Sometimes you say you walk beyond a certain distance, you lose the connection. So you will see the circle and know how the boundary looks like. All right, see, our circle is already here. The first circle. So this is the first channel, channel 1. So we'll have two channels, channel 1 and channel 149. So already channel 1 for radio 0 has been configured. So we have three radios, that is radio 0, radio 1 and radio 2. Can either use the command radio here, radio all. Let's see. If you use the radio all, it will bring you all the circles at once. But now I want to demonstrate for you. You see how the circles come up. So WLAN radio 0. Now the next one will be radio 1. The next circle should come up. All right, you see. Our second circle is here. So this one is for channel 149. All right. Now let's display a verb and see our verb. Display verb all. Wow. See, area 1. These are the MAC addresses. That is the BSSID is the MAC address of the APs. The security, and now the SSID. These are the names that will appear on your phone or on your laptop when you try to connect to the Wi-Fi around you. So let's save our configuration. So let's Control Z and save the configs. So yes, make sure when you save it on the CLI, you also save it on the main topology. So we want to see if we can get IP address in our STS. So you see, our STS are able to detect our Wi-Fi, that is SmartNet. What if the STS is outside the BSSID, that is the area? Let's take it out of the circle. So, and try to check. You see, outside that area, it can't find any SSID. So you must be within the area, within the BSSID. So here, let's obtain an IP address, try to connect. It will ask for the password you had configured. So enter. It's obtaining an IP address. Let's wait and see how it connects. You see, it's already connected here. You can see the link. Link has gone down. It has failed to obtain an IP address. Let's try again. Let's try channel 149. 1, 2, 3, 4. Obtaining an IP address. Let's give it time. It's connected. Let's also connect this other phone. Connect to channel 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Okay. Let's see if this has obtained an IP address. Still obtaining an IP address. Should be able to ping your gateway while you are on this. Still obtaining. Once it has obtained, it will show you connected. All right. All right. So that one we've configured AC1. Now we want to configure AC2. Also, AP2 should come online. So we come to our AP. AC2. Let's enlarge our config so that you be able to see. All right, hope you can see that. So on our AP2, go to the global view, then configure the WLAN. The thing we'll do first is to create the AP groups from which we'll bind all the configs. So our AP group, this time we'll name it AP group 2. AP group 2. Then quit. Then we create our regulatory domain for the antenna gains and the power. Regulatory domain name, we'll give it domain, the same as the one we used last time, domain 1. Then the country code, we'll use China, CN, the default one. Then we quit. Then we bind the regulatory domain into the our group, AP group. So AP group name, AP group 2. All right, then bind the regulatory domain. Name was domain 1. Enter. Say yes for the configuration to take effect. Enter. After that, we have to bring our AP online. So create and go to the WLAN view. Say AP authentication mode, MAC authentication, then AP MAC authentication. We copy the MAC address for that AP. Enter. Then we give the AP name from where we'll find the location of the AP. AP name, area 2. Then we bind it to the group we had created, that was AP group 2, AP group, AP group 2 for it to take effect. Say yes. All right. Now, if we display AP all, it will bring us an idle state because you cannot configure cap up tunnel for AP to be able to communicate with the AC. So we display AP all, idle state. Then we go to the global view, create the CapWap tunnel, CapWap source interface, VLAN if 100. Yes. Then we reset the AP, VLAN view, AP, reset all. Yes. Then still in the adult state. Let's give it time to pick up. While it is picking up, let's configure the WLAN service parameters. So in the WLAN view, we go to security, create the security profile name, WLAN net. Then the security itself, we use WPA2, ESK, passphrase for cipher, A1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we encrypt, use the American encryption standard, ES, enter, quit, then create the SSID that will appear. So SSID profile name, same with the name we used for the WLAN net. Now, then you configure the name that will appear when you connect to the Wi-Fi. So you say SSID, excuse me, SSID. Now this time we'll call it CAL Wi-Fi. can choose yours as well. Quit, then we bind to the regulatory, we bind it to the VAP, create a VAP name. We give you the same name, WLAN net. In the VAP, we have to bind SSID and security, and also configure the service and the forwarding mode. So forwarding mode is direct. Then the service VLAN this time VLAN ID will be VLAN 1 or 2 because we allowed VLAN 1 or 2 to pass. All right. Let's bound now SSID and the security profile. Security profile name was WLAN net, and the SSID profile was WLAN net. All right. Let's see if our AP was brought online. So display AP all. Beautiful. You can see our IP is now online, normal state, and it has obtained an IP address of 10.23.100.254. Let's say it has been up for 2 minutes, as you can see. AP group name is AP group 2. Area is that has been given to area that. The MAC address is that. All right. Since our AP is in a normal state, now we have to bind everything to the AP group so that we can be able to see the BSS ID, the boundary from which we can roam. Now, equate and go to the AP group view, AP group, name AP group was AP group 2, the one we created. Then we bind the VAP carries the profile for the SSID and the security. Now we'll have to pick the VAP and bind it to the AP group. Now say VAP, the name was WLAN net. Then the WLAN 1 radio, the first radio for the first channel will be radio 0. We should be able to see the first cycle. Just a minute. It's taking too long this time. All right, the first cycle has come. You see, that is for radio, that is for channel 1. Now let's bring channel 2 also. So we say VAP profile WLAN net, the name of the VAP WLAN 1, then this time it's radio 1. The second circle should be able to come up. Good. As you can see, the second circle is also here for channel 149. Create and save the configuration. Save. Say yes. And also save it in the device. All right. You see? Yeah, it's fine. Sorry for the interruption. Let's continue. As you can see here, our STAs are connected. Let's see if the STA has IP address. So we come here, say ipconfig. As you can see, we have an IP address of 10.23.101.254. Then the gateway is 10.23.101.254. 10.1.1.1. Can we talk to our gateway? Let's ping and see if there's connectivity. 10.101, 10.23.101.1 should be able to we are not able to talk to our our gateway. Then there must be some kind of disconnection on the link. Let's check again. Once it's able to obtain an IP address, it should be able to ping our gateway. This one also connected. Let's see its IP address. So ipconfig we have the IP address here, .52 100.52. Let's ping the gateway, see if we'll be able to talk this time. Control V. You see, good. It's returning the packets. We are able to communicate with our gateway, that is the .1. So let's check on this other one. There must be interface request timeout. There's problem with this link. Let's come to this other STM. See if we can connect. Put the password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Enter. So we put an IP address. Then we connect also STM on this side. Connect to channel 149. So say A1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Enter. It's obtaining an IP address, and you should see the link. This other link has gone down. Let's bring it up again. It's channel 1. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. There's a problem with this link, because you see when one is connected, the other one disconnects. But we'll solve it. Now make sure you save your configurations. Yeah, it's saved. We'll also have to configure SC3, because SC1 had this AP1 independently, and SC2 was running AP2 independently. Now I want to configure all the configuration for AP1 and AP2 in the standby SC3, so that in case SC1 goes down, SC2 configuration will maintain, and we'll have to run AP1. Also, if AP2 goes down, SC3 will be able to control and give the service configuration to AP1. Alright, so what we'll do for AP3, it will not come in a normal state before you configure HSB. That is the hot standby and the active one. So what we'll first of all shut this one down, so that we see the service coming up. You'll have to shut this one, then we do the configuration for SC3. Let's give it time to shut down. We also have to stop that. So after that, we'll go to our SC, configure the AP group as the WLAN view. The WLAN view, you go AP group name AP group 1. You have to configure the two groups and also group 2. After then, we create the regulatory domain for the antenna parameters. So regulatory domain name, we give it domain 1 as we used to on the other one. In case you don't configure, it will take the default. So domain 1, so quit. Then we bring our APIs online. So AP authentication mode, MAC authentication, then AP MAC. Come copy the MAC address for the first AP. Control C. Then the area, the name of the AP. AP name was area 1. Then we bind it to its group. It was on group 1 AP group. Group 1. Say yes for the configuration take effect. Then we bind we bring the other AP online. Come here, copy its MAC address. Control C. So AP MAC, then we paste MAC address. Then the AP name, it will be area 2 this time, and bind it to the group. So AP group 2. So yes. Then we configure the CAPWAP tunnel. Great. The global view. Great. So CAPWAP source interface VLAN if 100. Let's check if our APs has come online. So display AP all. Good. All our APs are in the normal state. They have 10 IP addresses. The first AP has a 10 IP address of 10.23.100.10.253, and the other one is .254, all in a normal state. They have been up for 7 minutes, as you can see here. They've been up for 7 minutes. So we'll have to configure the service parameters for our radio and channels to be in the up state. So go to SYS, WLAN view. So start with the security profile. We'll have two security profiles. The first one will be the WLAN net, as the one we used in the other one. For the first one, the WLAN net of the name. I have to fix name in between name. So security WPA2, WLAN, WPA2, PSK, passphrase, A1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then the American encryption standard. Good. Then we come to second security, which will name it WLAN net 1. The security be WPA, WPA2, PSK, passphrase, A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then the American encryption standard. Good. After that, you'll also have to create the two WLAN, two SSID. So we create an SSID, profile name, WLAN net. Then the SSID will be SmartNet, SmartNet 254. Then we create the second SSID, SSID WLAN net 1. Then we give the SSID the name. So say SSID name. So this time we'll have a cal Wi-Fi. Good. Now we'll create two VAPs. So quit and create the VAP. First VAP for WLAN, VAP profile name WLAN net. Then we bind the all the profiles. Forwarding mode will be direct forward. Service VLAN will be VLAN ID 101. Then the security SID will be WLAN net security WLAN net. Sorry, security profile typo error. Okay. Then we create the VAP for WLAN net 1. So create. So say VAP profile name WLAN net 1. Forward mode direct forward. Service VLAN ID 101. Then SSID profile was WLAN net 1. Security profile same WLAN net 1. All right. It's supposed to be security, not service mode. Should bind the security WLAN net 1. Enter. Then we bind all the to the radius. So go to the AP group. So AP group, first AP group was AP group 1, name AP group 1. Then we bind our first VAP. File name was WLAN net. Then WLAN, that is radio 1, radio 0. Our first circle should be able to come on. Good. Also circle is there for channel 1. Then the radio 1 for channel 149. There you have it. Then we'll go back to bind for VAP2. All right. You have to quit and the view. Go to quit. So on AP group 2, AP group name AP group 2. Then bind the VAP. File name, not name, WLAN net 1, net 1, WLAN 1, radio 0, and our first, the other initial come up. Give it time. All right. Then for radio 1 or for channel 149, boom, boom. Yeah, good, beautiful. Right, let's save our configuration. Control Z and save configs. Say yes. And make sure also you save it on the real on the device itself. Good. So as you can see, come here, display VAP all. Yeah, here we go. Sorry. Here are the configs for the two APs. You see SmartNet for AP1 and the SmartNet for AP2. And local Wi-Fi, the SID for AP2. So far, so good. So you'll have to bring this ACs on and see what configuration will pop up when we display the APs. Of course, they'll be in an idle state because we don't have the HSB configured. When a HSB is configured, all the AP1 will be either in a normal state and the others will in a standby state. But for this case, since you've not configured it, the other ones will remain idle because the IP addresses has been used by these other IPs. So let's see. It's still starting. Let's give it time. So guys, hope you're enjoying the video. Remember to subscribe as we continue. Also like, share your comments, what you like us to help you discuss in WLAN. All right, now let's check on this other AP that we shut down. See, we have to display the AP now. Display AP all idle state. Idle. Yeah. Display AP all. Idle state. So So far, you are well placed. We'll take a break, and in the next topic, we'll have to configure HSB, hot standby, where the one will act as the HSB and the other one will act as active and the other one will be standby. So that in case the active one you display the AP, you are able to see the APs and they are supposed to be in a normal state. Also, the ones in a standby, when you display AP, they should be able to see each other. It will be in a normal state. So let's now connect our cell phone here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See if to obtain an IP address and also connect this other guy. IP address. Sorry. Um, should be able to connect. There's a problem with our channel. When one connects, the other one disconnects. But hope guys you've enjoyed the session. The WLAN configuration is very interesting and simple. So if you want to be a WLAN engineer, you're gonna have to build passion. Support our videos. Always remember to subscribe so that every time uh, we do labs on WLAN or maybe OSPF routing, you are really up to date. So thank you guys. Stay connected as you wait for our next topic. Bye bye.